I felt it over the airwaves. There was concern, worry, and anxiety. I heard chatter about losing weight, dyeing hair, and what to wear. Admit it, you all did it. In the end, did it really matter? We're not in high school anymore, and we're all much more mature. Well, at least some of us are. Heck, we're not older, we're just better, right?
Right.
Some of you probably don't even remember me. In high school, Cathy McDonald.
Cathy McDonald, thank you so much.
I've grown up. In high school, Cathy McDonald was that little mouse that would turn beet red if someone talked to her. I certainly wouldn't have been able to give a speech to 150 people of my peers back then. Actually, I'm not sure that I can now, as I'm only used to talking to grade 3s.
Not Chase.
I'm way better in email, actually. So, is everyone having a good time? It's just so wonderful to look out there and see all these smiling faces and see everybody having a great time. How about all you Spice girls and guys? Some people were wondering about the spice thing. It's a word that my family made up for plural of spouse. It makes sense when you think that mice are plural of mouse. Spice should be plural of spouse. So, when collecting names of our spouses, the spice of our life sounded better than old boot.
Not my word.
You're still a newlywed, really true. Speaking of spice, we have a few high school sweetheart couples here. They've been together a long time. Patsy Baker and Peter Williamson, stand up. Warren Foster and Wendy Foster, stand up. Bev Messett and Brian Slater. Brad Guest and Gail Watts-Guest, stand up. Let's see what 40 years of bliss looks like. That's only page 1. Next. So, to the rest of you, by a show of hands, I won't make you stand up. Who is married? Come on, this is the audience participation time.
How many times?
Okay, who is married more than once? Who is married more than twice? 3 times? 4 times? Anybody 4 times going once? No? Okay. Who is smart enough to stay single? Anybody smart enough to stay single? Okay, great. Who has kids? Who has 1 kid? 2 kids? 3 kids? Ooh, 4 kids? Oh, 5 kids. Anybody have 5 kids? Oh. Okay, anybody have 6 kids? Ooh, back in the back corner.
All right.
Okay, let's go. 7? 7, anybody? No, 7. Okay. All right, next question. Who was smart enough to not ever have kids? They're all going to be way richer than the rest of us. Who's still lives in West Van?
Who still lives in the current?
Who still lives within walking distance of Hillside? Ah, just didn't go very far, did you? Who lives on the North Shore? Yeah, didn't go very far, did you? Who lives within the greater Vancouver area? Yeah, still didn't go very far, did you? Who lives between Squamish and Whistler? No, yeah, a little bit further away. Who came on a ferry to get here? Who flew on a plane to get here? All right. Who lives out of province? Who lives out of country? Who lives on a different continent? Woohoo! Okay, enough of the audience participation. On with the rest of my speech. That's page 2. First, I'd like to thank, here we go, this is the boring part. First, I'd like to thank our reunion committee, Suzanne Rush, our venue convener. Stand up, Suzanne. Thanks to Suzanne for being my sounding board and listening to my very first seed of an idea to have a reunion. When it became obvious that nobody else seemed to be taking on the planning, Suzanne and I decided that that would be our job. So living in West Van, Suzanne was elected to scope out the various possibilities and nail down the details of the hotel and the caterer. And she's done a wonderful job. Thank you, Suzanne. Wendy Miller Hare, our super sleuth. Please stand up. Thanks to Wendy for jumping on board and taking on the huge job of searching out our Hillside classmates and making so many phone calls. You needed a job after your retirement, didn't you, Wendy? Wendy taught me a thing or two about tracking down people. I even got neighbors to knock on doors for some of you that we needed to find. Right, Rosamond? Thanks, Wendy. Let's hear it for Wendy. Mary Ellen Welch Smith. Where are you, honey? Stand up. Our lovely DVD diva. Originally, Mary Ellen offered her computer techie skills for creating a biography and memory scrapbook. But after researching online the various bookmaking programs, we came up with a much better idea of a PowerPoint presentation. And it was Mary Ellen that created your homework, not me. She created the top 5 questions, collected the information, created the presentation, and burned 150 DVDs for our keepsakes. Please give Mary Ellen a big round of applause. Apparently Mary Ellen wants to say something.
Hi there. I just want to say the DVD that's running on here right now, or the format, it's kind of messed up because it's running off of the laptop. When I did the DVD, I tested it on my 2 computer systems at home, I tested it on another computer system, I ran it on a 23-inch monitor and also a 19-inch monitor, and nothing wrapped around. So what's up there right now that's driving me crazy because it's all screwed up. I apologize for the presentation here, but hopefully once you have your computers at home, it will work way better.
It's perfect.
Wow.
Maybe we should just blame my computer, Miriam.
I know.
It's not her fault, honest. Brent Tynan. Where are you? Brent, stand up. Our event consultant and music man. Brent was there when I needed to ask questions that, help Brent, what do I do? You did this 20 years ago, what did you do? And he was there with answers and wise words of wisdom regarding some do's and don'ts for events, and he organized our DJ system over here, and Bruce and Todd, thank you very much. They'll be entertaining you later, and I'm sure it will be wild and wonderful. Sorry, where am I on my... that was totally ad-lib, sorry. Please give Brent Tynan a big hand for helping out our committee. Only 2 more pages. It's big print though. Diane Hawn Ashton, our Facebook groupie and name tag coordinator. She wasn't able to be with us here tonight, but she started a new job. Some of you may have had a chance to chat with her from lovely Hawaii. It was Diane that started the Facebook page for our pre-event chatting, and she created our lovely name tags. So we need to give... speaking of name tags, my very old printer decided to print our photos with the old sepia tone, and it had nothing to do with me. I don't know why I did it. I guess I needed a computer. However, I thought it was kind of fitting, really, to have this old look to your photos. So let's give Diane Ashton Hawn a round of applause as she can hear in Hawaii. Drew Snider, you're already standing up. Our Masters of Ceremonies and Skype guru. Early on, Drew was full of lots of ideas and offered his help to make our event bigger and better. Drew created the background music for the PowerPoint DVD, which you'll get to hear better on your own computer at home. And he made the Skype group a happening. Despite... what?
Someone said I haven't changed.
Oh, Drew hasn't changed, no.
No, I didn't like Helen. I said Snider is our cat.
Well, none of us have changed, have we? Really? And of course, Drew is our #1 MC, so let's give Drew a round of applause, please. So, in absentia, the Hillside Annual Club was actually a huge part of our reunion committee. We never would have been able to put this reunion together without those hard-working people from 40 years ago that created our yearbook for you to pore over and relive memories. Here's the list of names from the 1973 Annual Club, because I'm sure none of you remember. I sure didn't. Cathy Smith. And as I call your names, could you stand up, please? Cathy Smith Fitzsimmons. Susan McLaren, not here. Tanis Tupper, with us in other places. Brent Tynan. Wendy Boothroyd. Christine McKenzie. Kilmany Denny, not here. Debbie McLennan, not here. Lise Patterson, not here. Ross Harris, with us in other places. Peter Vaughn. Louise Brower, not able to be here. And Lorne Whitehead. So let's give these folks a big round of applause. Their hard work went unrecognized 40 years ago, and I think we realize now what an incredible gift they gave to all of us by making a yearbook for us as a keepsake. Thank you so much. Then, of course, there's me, your email queen. I have over 1,000 emails in my Hillside folder that I received, not to mention the ones that I sent, which were many, as you know. So I'd like to say thanks for putting up with me and my emails. I know that you're all going to be suffering withdrawal next week when you don't get an email from me. You all learned to take orders very well, actually. Well, most of you did. Some of you tried to hold out, but you finally succumbed at the last minute, and we're sure glad that you did. So, I learned a few things planning this 40th reunion. And I only have 2 pages on them, but we'll get on with it. I learned that organizing a reunion can become an all-consuming, and once the idea got rolling... Oh, sorry, that doesn't make sense. I changed this. Let me start again. I learned that organizing a reunion can become all-consuming, and it's a good thing that I was retired. That's all I can say. Maybe it was a bad thing that I let you know that I was retired because you let me just do it. Once the idea got rolling, it wasn't going to stop, and that's a wonderful thing. I learned that my husband is an extremely patient and tolerant man. He's not here tonight, but he deserves a round of applause. I learned that we don't need the view from Salmon House on the Hill or Pinnacle on the Pier to have a good time. Of course, we never had a view at Hillside with those windows all being obscured. I learned that Steve Pans has a very clever sister with the foresight to save the old school letters when our building was being demolished. Thank you, Susie and Steve. Let's give them a round of applause. I learned that I should have been a salesman, because a few of you needed convincing to attend, and aren't you glad that you did? I learned that I could have been a cheerleader after all, as I was pretty good at getting the hype going. I learned that losing my cell phone the day before an event is a good thing, because it makes for a very quiet evening and day the next day. I did find my cell phone, I know where it is, so that's a good thing. I learned that 55 is a very popular number to use in email addresses. I wonder why that is. I learned that a small note of thanks included with payment means a lot. Thank you. I learned that our high school colors were burgundy and baby blue. Did you know that? I learned that our high school crest has a landscape bridge on it. I never knew that. I didn't pay any attention. I learned that our motto is Esse quam videri. Is that the correct Latin pronunciation? Mr. Hodgson, where are you when I need you? And that it means to be rather than seem to be. In other words, not just seem to be the best, but to actually be the best. And I learned that Jean Sparling was the best when she set a new interscholastic Canadian record of 11.3 seconds to break the old mark of 11.5 when she won the 80-meter hurdles. And I'm sorry, Jean, is she still here or is she gone? Is she coming back? Okay. I learned that I never knew what IE was in high school. For your other females, that's industrial education. I learned that there was a cat that ventured into our grad ceremony in the gym. And it's in the pictures to prove it. I learned that there was a police band at Oil Can Harry's after grad party. Obviously, I wasn't having enough fun. Because I didn't know about it. I learned that we have a lot of really interesting... I learned that we have a lot of really interesting and very friendly people as classmates. And I can't believe how the number of people that phoned me out of the blue and just wanted to connect and chat. People that never would have dreamed of chatting with me in high school, had no idea who I was. And I was very touched that you phoned and wanted to chat with me. Thank you very much for that. I learned that you're... Oh, I forgot something. Can you bring me that little bag that's right there? Thank you. Sorry. I learned, it's my crop, I learned that you're a very trusting group of people, and you happily sent me money, even when I told you that I was using it for a trip to Hawaii. By the way, Diane Ashton and I had a good time. And for that, I would like to thank you. On your way out, would you remember to pay the caterer for your meal, please? I learned that autocorrect spelling is not always a good thing, because a simple comment like, shake it up, can be horribly misconstrued to shack it up. Steve Pans, may I have the first dance? May the shacking begin. Thank you.
Cathy from Herwaarden, everybody.
Hello again, everyone. This is How It Goat Smells, speaking of sports. I have absolutely nothing further to add to what Ms. Herwaarden has been saying to this, and so I will just shut it right up now, but I was asked to do this at some point in time tonight. Well, Peter, I guess I am still the cat. And that's one that goes back to 8th grade. We're not quite going to shack it up just yet because some people did ask to say a few words here. Yeah, I know. Some people asked to say a few words here, so we're going to have kind of an open mic briefly in all things, but there is something else planned here for this evening. A lot of you may remember, as Cathy was saying, we had a pretty awesome year, 72-73 at Hillside. And, you know, we had sports victories, we had Reach the Top Bridesmaid, we had some great shows that we did, a lot of great things that happened at Hillside. But those were all things that sort of, you know, covered groups of people around us. There was, however, a morning that touched us all. Do you remember going to school that morning? Going to your locker, flipping that combination, and heading up to Jungle Gym McKenna because we couldn't get our full lock open. Brent, would you care to come up here and talk about Operation Bagel? I think you all remember that morning, do you not?
The last time I addressed this group, my bow tie fell off, so I'm hoping that I don't have any similar wardrobe malfunctions this time. I can't do this without the co-conspirators of Operation Bagel who are present tonight. Steve McHale, Wayne Hartrick, come on up. Let's get the crew up here. Guy Gordon, who is one of the other 5, is living in Ontario. Ed Huff, we haven't been able to find. Even Wendy couldn't find him, so we're not sure where he is, but the three of the 5 of us are here anyway. We're just going to make this a quick thing. You don't need to hear the whole story. What I did do is you'll find on your table there's a 5-page behind-the-scenes tell-all, you know, never-before-revealed secrets of the great lock caper. And believe me, there are some very interesting things that we never told anyone before. For instance, Bill Japinga was really the mastermind. He originated the idea and turned it over to us, and he had to drop out when his parents found out. It was originally supposed to have occurred on April the 1st, not the 3rd, but I slept in. When these guys showed up to pick me up and I was nowhere to be found, so we had to delay 48 hours. The lock combinations were obtained in a bizarre way that you'll read about in here that we've never told anyone about before. When we left the school after the whole thing was done at about 6 o'clock in the morning, we went up Chairlift Place to burn all of our equipment. We're not sure why we thought that was essential. And one of West Vancouver's finest just happened to be on patrol. Chairlift Road and pulled us over. Well, here we were, 18 years old, in a car at 6 o'clock in the morning at Chairlift Place, and we had walkie-talkies and lighted helmets and gloves and all sorts of paraphernalia in the car trying to talk our way out of it. So these guys can add anything they want, but essentially it's all in there. Mary Ellen also included a PDF version in the DVD in the bag that you've got to take home, so you can read it at your leisure. But there's the full story. We had to go back and forth, 4 or 5 times, because none of us could exactly remember how it all happened. You'd think it would be like burned into our brains, but it wasn't. So, either of you want to say a little word? Come on.
I was actually the mastermind. But that's the way I remember it. I really appreciate Wayne and Brent being such hangers on.
Anyway, it kind of became associated with our year, and I'm, proud and grateful that it did. It was a great prank, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and everybody was good sports. I'd like to thank Dick Wright, who in his memory, for being a really good sport and being able to laugh at himself over this. It was tough at the time for him, but he was a good sport, and a lot of the other people involved, they saw it for what it was, which was kind of a victimless prank. So it was good fun, and it went on for years and years. Just the last couple of lines of this, I'll just read out to you here, but I said, while living on Bowen Island 20 years later, I offered a ride to a student hitchhiking to the Snug Cove Ferry. I asked her what school she attended, and she said Hillside. After some modest reflection, I asked her if she'd ever heard of the Great Lock Caper. She turned to me, her eyes lit up, and she said, "Oh my God, that was the coolest prank ever." That made me feel pretty good. It still does. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brent, and Steve, and Wayne, and in absentia, all the other guys who took part in that. It's quite the job. Does anybody, I was asked to do this before we started, so those who have asked, I would expect like to come up. Anybody else have got anything they would like to share about their memory of Hillside 40 years ago? Any anecdote they want to pass on to us? All of a sudden, heads go down. People sit on their hands. This is great. You see, it is kind of like third grade, isn't it, Cathy? Just the voices are lower. It's that simple. Second, John, and who else was? Somebody else was with you.